Welcome to Ric's Corner, brought to you by Old School Labs, the brand I trust and the only one I put my name to. Use my code DRASIN12 on the link below.
Welcome to Ric's Corner. The man, the myth, the legend. Now on with the show.
Welcome to Ric's Corner. I have Artemus DOLGiN back. We've talked quite a bit about certain subjects, and he wanted to come on and share some stuff with you that he's been doing. He's got a phenomenal body. His brain is equal to his body. He's very, very smart. He knows a lot about nutrition and training. He's a scientist when it comes to doing his body and developing it and sculpting it to what it wants to be. And he's a huge fan of the golden era of bodybuilding, the old school style, which has always been #1 for me. So we're going to talk, first of all, you brought this up about talking about red meat, because back in the day everybody ate red meat. Red meat was good to grow on, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What do you feel about it today?
You know what, Rick? I picked it up from your interviews, by the way, with Robbie. You were talking about red meat that increases testosterone right after you train.
Yeah.
So I started incorporating red meat into my diet, and I started eating steak 3-4 times a day. I feel a lot better. I perform differently at the gym. I have different pumps. My muscles a lot fuller. My strength is going up. A lot of people are arguing about cholesterol levels and how hurtful it is, but I'm in my bulking mode right now. When I switch to cutting, I take all my red meat away, and I just switch my diet to completely different things, so it doesn't really affect my body that much. And eating red meat in the morning before you train and right after I go to bed, I found the best benefits. You can put more size with red meat than with chicken in 1 year.
There's no question about it. When I think of red meat, though, I think of a good red fillet steak, not cheap meat. You know, even when you eat ground beef or ground sirloin, I want good red. The problem with the ground sirloin, if you get it too lean, it has no flavor.
You know what? Top sirloin is my choice.
Yeah.
It's as lean as it gets. I try to avoid fats when I'm on a high carb diet.
Yeah.
So I try to keep my steak and my bison ground beef all 96-97% lean. So
okay.
So that way.
What do you season it with?
Mr. Dash. I avoid salt. Sometimes I do salt my food, but at this point I try to keep my bloat down.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I'm using Mr. Dash. I use garlic. I use peppers. I use onions. I use all kinds of vegetables.
Okay, so it comes out good.
To mix up. Yeah, taste is never a problem, and I'll be honest, you could care less about taste.
I have a question, because you just brought this up, and this is the way conversations go. You were talking about when your carbohydrates are high.
Yeah.
You know, there's periods where you want to lower them, there's periods you want them higher. Depends on the body, depends on what you're trying to achieve. I always tell people, you want to cut the body fat, cut your carbs down. That's the only way that it works.
Absolutely.
But there's times when you want to increase those carbs, and how do you increase your carbs? Now, we were going to talk about this, and keep your waist small. Yeah,
the thing is that you have to keep your fat super low when you're on a high carb diet. You don't want to mix. A lot of people don't understand that. They'll always say, oh, the carbs, they're going to get me fat, and this and that. People don't understand how to use this and how to proportionally equally divide the portions for carbs, how to calculate carbs per pound. It's really important to get into this, because a lot of people are avoiding carbs because they think they're going to get fat.
Okay.
When I go on a high carb diet is when I'm bulking, when I try to grow, because carbs are necessary to grow.
In order to put the size on, you got to have it.
Totally. So
but you don't eat the fats.
I don't eat the fats. A lot of people would argue right now again, hey, you need fats for this and that. Well, I eat so much red meat, and I eat a lot of chicken, I eat a lot of turkey. Those are just my basic food, rice and protein, rice, protein, vegetables, rice, protein, vegetables. And people say, oh, you need to have this or that. No, I'm feeding my muscle, I'm not feeding my stomach.
So when you're feeding with carbs, you're feeding with good carbs. You're not feeding it with like sugars and stuff
Sugars
like that.
is the biggest enemy, guys. You have to avoid sugar. That's why we were talking about supplements. A lot of supplements contain sugar. Sugar is the biggest enemy. You're going to put on fat, you're going to get soft. Your metabolism is going to slow down. I avoid sugars whatsoever. I eat super clean even during the bulking season. A lot of people think that, oh, you go in bulk, I gotta eat everything, I want to eat everything. It doesn't work like that. If you want to bulk, it's the same thing as you preparing for the competition. You have to stay super strict, you have to eat super clean. You can, if you're really craving something, you can do it once a week, maybe twice. But when you're on a high carb diet, you don't really, you're not craving anything.
Not really. You pretty much satisfy that. The thing with bulking is, if you're going to eat the bulk, like years ago when we were powerlifting and weightlifting, we'd bulk up and we get big and heavy, but we get fat, and then you drink a lot of milk, and then you'd have to cut all that out. So all the work you did to put weight on, you have to take the weight off. And it wasn't good weight. It was extra weight, made you stronger, made you bigger in clothes, right?
Yes.
But when you took the shirt off, you look smooth.
And you lose so much muscle when you start cutting down. It becomes such a struggle to lose all that weight, and then you're running on a deficit, and you start getting hungry, and you start binging after your show.
Yeah.
What I discovered works the best for me is a very high carb diet. I eat a cup of rice, 10 times a day. I eat steak, I eat chicken, and I keep it super clean. So I am a little softer, but I'm still very tight because I don't have all the garbage in my my food. You know, I don't have fries, I don't have burgers, I don't have sugar, I don't have sodium. So my body takes that, take the nutrition and puts it in the right places.
Right.
And I do gain, you know, slightly amount of fat. I do keep, you know, water because it's off season and carbs do that to you.
Sure.
But I'm also stronger and I'm fulfilling the purpose that I'm trying to achieve, which is become bigger.
It's really something funny when you bring this up because I'm the same way. And during the years, and I still have the habit today of eating a certain way. I always felt when a meal was prepared and was put down in front of me, or if I did it myself, I always went for the protein first and I ate the other stuff later. I know people who mix it up and they take from here and take from there. I don't know what it is with me. I want to get the meat out of the way, and then I'll eat the other stuff if I have room for it, because I feel the body's going to take that first. And if it needs the other, it will, otherwise it won't.
See, it's a great point. A lot of people, they're looking for all the secrets, what's there with that. What they have to do is just watch their body. You eat a certain food and you watch what's happening to the body, how you feel, how you digest, how you bloated, or you're not bloated. you gotta understand your muscles. You gotta understand how your body works, because you can follow all kinds of diets and you will never find what works for you. The only person that can find what works for you is you. Right. What personally works personally for you, because you're gonna eat certain carbs and you're gonna get bloated, and then you're gonna eat a different amount of carbs and you're gonna be tight. So you gotta find that. You know, you're gonna find that food that's gonna make you grow, make you feel great, and you just switch things around and watch your body. Switch things around and watch your body, because you are your best guy. You're your best trainer.
And the thing that you can judge by the most is the mirror in your clothes.
Absolutely.
Going by the scale does not tell you anything.
Never. People ask me, hey, what's your body fat? Never measured.
It's really funny. I walked in the gym the other day and there was a couple in there who I know, and I was going to get on the scale and I was just kidding. Like, what do you think I weigh? And he says, 185. And she looked at me, she says, I don't know, 187, 190 at most. I got on the scale, I was 224. What do you mean you're 224? I'm 224, that's exactly what it is. But I know when you see me, I appear to be much lighter.
Yeah.
It's just dense muscle. And the scale, and I don't want to be 224, I'd rather be 215, I think. But I remember being 213, and I felt skinny and fat. And then I go to 220 and I felt hard as a rock. So, you know, the scale really isn't the judge. It's really the mirror and all that, because the scale would fluctuate so much that I could lose like 6 pounds from a Sunday to a Monday.
I mean, when I'm bulking, I step on the weight scale, I'm at 207, and I was at 207 last week. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not really progressing. But then I take my shirt off and I see, man, I got leaner and my weight's still the same. So I actually grew, but I lost fat. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But the scale can play with your mind.
Totally. So I don't really pay attention to this.
You know, one of the worst things you can say to a bodybuilder?
What's your weight?
Did you lose weight? You've been sick? I'll run right to the mirror and look.
Automatically you feel like, what?
Yeah, exactly. It throws you way off. Yeah. How many days a week are you training now? Because last time you varied around.
Yeah, 6 days. I found it absolutely perfect. I train my body part once a week now, because I'm actually trashing it. I get a lot of questions. How long do you train? All that.
How long do you train?
2 hours, 2.5. I look up to golden age bodybuilders. For me, some of those guys train 3 hours, took a break, eat, come back, train again, and nobody was worried about overtraining. And now this whole new systems came out and people are complaining about.
Let me tell you why they did that, because I was down there at the time. We would do chest and back in the morning and then come back and do maybe calves and abs in the afternoon. It wasn't a big workout in the afternoon, but back then the lifestyle was such that you would train in the morning, you could go to the beach and lay in the sun for an hour and sleep.
Right.
And then eat, and take a little bit of nap, and then come back and train. So your body was ready to train, and you could train that long because you were napping during the day. Yeah. Yes, what'd you do for money? I wrestled at night. Some guys did commercials, you know, I did whatever they had to do to make a living. A lot of guys worked in the studios where they had days off, they had money put away, they had unemployment. So they had the time to do that. That was the beach lifestyle. If you took that into the Midwest, nobody would do that. They'd be working 8 to 5 every day.
Absolutely. You see, the workout has to be efficient. You know what I mean? When I come down to the gym sometimes, I don't really pay attention, but you know, when I'm waiting for a machine and the guy's taking, you know, 30-40 minutes to finish his exercise, well, that's not efficient workout. You have to come in, you have to really punish your muscle, you really have to go very, very deep into it with the drop sets. You really have to train, and train hard, and pump is going to tell you if you've done enough or not. When you start losing the pump, you start getting a little colder in the muscle, that's it, you got to wrap it up and move on.
I want to talk about that for a minute too. These things come into my head when you're talking about them. Sometimes you go in the gym, you get a terrific pump. Other days you go in there, you get no pump. Your body is doing something, it's playing back. Maybe you didn't get enough carbs, maybe you didn't get enough rest, but then you
your
try to...
hormones level could be different at that moment, yes.
Yeah,
Totally.
and I know that some people stay in the gym and they do it more sets to get more of a pump, and they don't get anything at all, and they end up defeating themselves because you're overworking the muscle and nothing, it's just going to die, right?
Yeah, see, as I said, you have to feel your body.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't feel like training, but I'm trying to understand, is it me being lazy? Or is it my body telling me, hey,
right.
you know, take a rest today? So I would still go to the gym and I will stretch. I will still be active because I ate a lot of food that day, or I didn't eat that day because I feel that I have to be there. For some people, it's not the same way because they have full-time jobs and they work, you know, physically.
Sure, they have to.
At work. But in order to combine the two, your nutrition has to be on point. Your supplementation has to be on point because you spend so much energy at work. And then you're going to train at the gym and you want to grow and you want to have a physique, not just an average gym goer. You want to be proud of who you are and how you look.
Right.
So you definitely have to have your nutrition on point because a lot of people asking how do you train and this and that. I think the most important thing is nutrition, food. You have to eat what you eat, and it's going to make a huge difference in your training.
I've said that many times on here that so many people go to the gym, they don't have breakfast, they don't have a post-workout drink, and they'll go all day without eating.
But they would have a protein shake though.
Well, a protein shake at some point during the day, but I always believe in having something right after I work out, before I work out, and after I work out, because your body's asking for it. It needs something to train on, and it needs something to refill after you train.
Rick, absolutely. I think, you know, there's not a point. It's going to sound really funny to a lot of people, but I have a little container with rice and meat in my training bag when I go to the gym. I'll go back to the locker, have a couple bites of rice, couple bites of meat, to wait 5 or 6 minutes to settle down, go train again. I have amazing pump. I sweat a lot more. My endurance and my strength is a lot better. I know it sounds strange, it's not very...
But it's working for you. I mean, I can't eat that much rice all day. As I got older, my appetite has cut back about 50%. I was talking to a guy in the gym about it. I said, I used to make fun of my aunt and uncle. They go to the dinner and they split a meal, or they take half home after they ate. I used to eat 3 chicken breasts at dinner. Now I'm down to 1.5. I can't eat that much at one meal. So if I do go out and I get a big prime rib, I can finish it usually, but I'll take a little bit home and use it for a snack the next day, so I'm still getting that meat in my system.
See, as soon as you get up, I can actually cut out all my eggs from my diet. A lot of people say, oh, you gotta have eggs, this and that. You have to switch things around so all this different nutrition, you know, impacts your body differently.
I believe that.
So when you go on one diet and you cut out those ingredients like eggs, you know, cut out salmon, cut out my nuts because I'm bulking up.
You cut your nuts out?
Yeah.
Where are they?
No, not those. I need those.
Okay, all right. You said you cut your nuts. I don't know.
I'm still a young stud.
But you know, you switch your workout around to shock your body into reforming, and you should switch your diet around as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Once I start cutting down and start getting you know, leaner and training for a competition, I reintroduce all the fats and I take all the carbs, and my body is just shocking. I start using my fat as energy source, and I get very, very lean.
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand that you can't really be following just one thing. Try things around. Find what works for you.
Not only that's another point, because you might want to try this too. When I was on the road wrestling, I used different gyms. I'd stay at a gym for a few weeks in this city, and then I go to a different gym. Every time, even now, if I go down to Gold's in Venice to train, or I train over here, I come home sore the next day because it's a different gym. Your mindset is different. You're in a different atmosphere. The machines feel a little bit different. You're training a little harder because there's new people there. You end up getting a good workout, right?
Yeah, that's like Arnold. I was reading his encyclopedia. He said he liked when people look at him, like especially ladies.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Especially ladies. He would push himself a lot harder. So you have to find that catalytic that will help you, you know, push yourself mentally. For me, it's the vision that I'm going for, my body, the way I want to look. Because when I go train, I close my eyes and I imagine how I want my body to look. I mentally go through my workout. It's never the same. My workout's never the same. The reps are never the same. The sets are never the same. I switch things around. I always improvise because it comes with experience.
Sure.
You start understanding your muscles better. You start understanding pump better. You know, I start improvising with the grips, with the positioning, with the breathing, to find the perfect spot that will affect my body efficiently.
You know what the funny thing is, and I know exactly what you're saying, there's machines in the gym that are built to use a certain way. Alright, so for example, there's a seated press machine, you sit in and you push up. I face the other way and I face in the opposite direction.
Do the same thing.
And I get a better feel on my shoulders by facing the other way.
Yes.
So sometimes, and people say, well, that machine's not supposed to be used that way. Too bad, it works for me.
Yes,
and so it's just like doing pec deck and reverse delts on it.
Absolutely.
You try things a different way sometimes and you get more out of it. Your body's not made to go that way.
Yes, and
So,
you work with the muscles from different angles, and it's very important because you include different fibers.
Right.
And it's you know, for me, when I go to the gym, it's like playing music. You know what I mean? I go on there and I play with the weights because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And the pump is there, and you know, the concentration, the focus, I love the sweat, and you have to go through a tremendous amount of pain to grow. A lot of people just wiggle weights.
Oh, I know.
12 reps, 16 reps, they finish that, they think that's it, it's done. It doesn't matter.
I was working back today. I was doing some seated lats. There's a man that comes in next to me. There's a curl machine. He's put like, I think he had 20 pounds on the plate, and he's going like this and bouncing, doing this and bouncing the weight down. I said, really, do you have to bang the weight? It's only 20 pounds. For God's sake, he just looked at me like, what do you mean? I said, never mind. I mean, you're not getting a thing out of this.
Yeah, see, another thing about the weight, I get a lot of questions. How do you train? Heavy or light? And this questions is like, it's been around forever, because there are two different schools in the powerlifting school, the bodybuilding school.
Totally different, yeah.
I'll tell you, bodybuilding is an isolation sport. It's not a lifting sport. You're isolating the muscle, you're building the muscle.
You're sculpting it.
You're sculpting the muscle. Weight is important, and I do go heavy, but I don't let the weight control me. I control the weight. The minimum numbers of reps I go is 6, but that's too heavy. But I do 5 sets of that, and I always do a drop set after that in order to go through my muscle deeper.
Do you ever go back at the end and do a pump set of 20 reps?
Always.
Yeah.
I start with 30 reps on anything I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything. I've been reading Arnold Encyclopedia lately. It's my table book. A lot of people abandoned those methods that they used to do in old school, because they used to warm up. They used to do a warm up set, and then they will do a 5 working sets or 4 working sets. And I think it's very efficient. It helps to go deeper into muscle, stress it more, punish it more. Once you trash your muscles, you go back home, you eat, you replenish, you eat, you replenish, and you go train again. It's not a rocket science. It's pretty simple. But people always are looking for this, you know, a secret, a magic, an easier way. There is no easier way. You have to prep your meals, you have to train hard, and you have to eat, and eat. There's a lot of diets that I get from people. I say, hey, man, can you look at my diet, please? All I see is protein shakes, supplements, protein shake. Why would you have a protein shake in the morning? Your body is depleted. You want to eat. Have a nice protein. Have steak.
Because for them, they want the quick way out. They don't want to sit and cook, and it's easy and it's quick, and they get out of the house. And it's you gotta have real food.
You know, I gotta give credit to Rich Piana, because he's really promoting a, you know, food over supplements thing, and I totally respect that, totally support it. Since I'm at Rich, I switched completely to.
But you know what he says? It's a supplement. It's not the meal.
Yes, absolutely. But
it's an addition to.
If you can avoid it, I would personally avoid protein shakes. They keep my blood down, my metabolism is up, my digestion is better, because there's a lot of sugar, a lot of fillers in there. I would prefer food. If you guys some way cannot make food on time, or you're skipping a meal, it's better to have something than nothing. And totally can have a shake. But if you can eat, just eat.
Okay, in closing, there's one thing I want to say. And there's fast food restaurants, and nowadays fast food restaurants cater to people who are health-wise. They'll make things that are healthy for you. For example, I don't know where you guys live, but there's a Carl's Jr., which is across from the gym. They make chicken sandwiches and burgers and that. They will charbroil a breast for you and give you a salad without the bread and the whole thing, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. And it's not expensive. That's
my off-season thing. I go to kebab restaurants. I order a steak, I order rice without marinade, nothing.
Yeah.
And I eat it. I love to be social. Lately I've been eating a lot of meals out, but I always tell them how I want this to be cooked, how I want this to be served, and I still have fun with my family. And I'm trying to avoid all the fattening food, all the sugars. Guys, to build the physique that you want, you have to go through a lot of sacrifice and through a lot of pain. It's not easy as it seems, and this man knows it perfectly well.
Yeah, it takes time. In closing, where can we find you on the internet if they want to contact you or see you?
Guys, you can check out my Facebook, my Instagram, my website, goldenaesthetics.org, my Instagram.
What is it?
Goldenaesthetics.org.
Goldenaesthetics.
Yeah. My Instagram is Artemus DOLGiN. I always get ready to help. Always ready to answer your questions. I'm really trying to bring this old school physique back into the mainstream, because I think it's an ultimate aesthetics. It's a complete physique with legs. It's complete physique with waist. And I want to promote intelligent, smart, creative, and artistic training. That's my mission.
Thank you very much, Artemus, for being here. Appreciate it. We'll have you back on again. We'll talk some more. Be sure and contact him if you have any questions, if he's willing to answer you. And stay tuned for more Ric's Corners. We'll be back.
Thank you so much.
Hope you enjoyed the video brought to you by Old School Labs. Use my discount code DRASIN12 on the link below at oldschoollabs.com. Hey everyone, now you can have the Gold's Gym logo drawn by me, the artist Ric Drasin. personalized and made out to you and signed by me to frame and put on your gym wall or wherever you see fit to do so. It's a piece of bodybuilding history. It will never be duplicated again. It's the largest selling icon t-shirt logo in the world. And I'm the guy that drew it, and I will draw it for you. Just go to my website, ricdrasin.com, and order there. You can pay through PayPal, and it'll be sent out right away. And be sure to watch Ric's Corner for all the videos on bodybuilding, nutrition, fitness, pro wrestling, and anything that suits your interests as far as getting physically fit and being the best you can be from the golden era of bodybuilding.
It's Ric Drasin. He's the equalizer, baby. See you next time.